Hello everyone, this is Crazybear. Welcome back to Crazybear's Den for another board game playthrough. And today I'll be playing through the Lord of the Rings living card game. This is a fun little game that I found through Board Game Geek. It's not such a little game, it's quite an expandable game. And I have been playing through the base set with only the base set, trying to make it all the way through each of the adventures before I go into some of the adventure packs that they have out. Like, I haven't even opened these yet because I'm waiting to make it through the base adventure before I go on to them. So I'm playing the last quest in the base deck, which is the escape from Dol Guldur. Yeah, I probably murdered that name, but so this is the last quest, and I tried with just one single player with 3 heroes, and I could never make it work because as you guys will see in the beginning of this quest, one hero is taken captive. So after reading a few forums about it and everything, most people play 2 hands, so they've got one player. They're playing as one player with 3 heroes, and then another player is 3 heroes. So I'll be playing both of these hands tonight, but again, it's a solo game here. So I've done a little bit of setup already. So if we look at this card again, we see that we have to put out the 3 objective cards and put them in the staging area, which I've done. They are right up here. And I know we're a little bit zoomed out here, but I think it'll work as long as I hold up the cards that have meaning, and we'll see. If you guys don't end up liking this zoomed out format, let me know. In the future though, I will only have one hand, so I should be able to zoom closer in on it. So once I put out the 3 objectives, then I have to put a encounter on each of the 3 objectives. So I'm going to do that now. So I'm going to draw 1 for the first one, and we get the Great Forest Web. So that's going to be on Gandalf's map. Next, we get Enchanter's Stream. Sorry about that. Focus. Okay, that goes on the Dungeon Torch. And finally, we do get a creature here, and it is a Cavern Guardian. And it has Doomed 1, which means that we have to increase our threat track already. So my leadership and tactics, leadership and tactics is going to go up from 32 to 33 already. And my lore and spirit is going to go from 27 to 28. I use this, I don't know, you guys can't see it, but I have a little marble and a couple of holes there, one of the punch out boards, to kind of track my turns as I'm going through. And I have put the first player token on my lore and spirit deck. So that's what I'm going to be playing. So now that we've got these out, now this part of the card is complete. So now we're going to flip it to side B and see what it does. So after we flip the card, it says, when we've revealed, we have to randomly select a hero among all the heroes controlled by all players and turn it face down, and the hero is now considered a prisoner and cannot be used, cannot be damaged, and does not collect resources until it is rescued. And then the other thing is, players as a group cannot play more than 1 ally card each round. And we have to have at least 1 objective before we can advance. So this is pretty bad news for us. So we'll use this as the staging area. When things engage, they'll actually come down to each side. So now I've got to determine which character is going to be the prisoner. This is always tense. This is tense for me, mainly because if it ends up being a 1 or a 5, then I won't be able to use cards because I won't have resources for them. So we don't want it to be a 1 or a 5. So I'm going to go ahead and roll my d6. Yeah, that's a 1. So that's exactly what I didn't want, and nobody cared. So poor Baravor, man, she's so useful too, is captured. So I'm turning her over, putting her down, and she is now captured, and we cannot use her for this adventure until we rescue her. So yeah, that's not optimal, but okay. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to draw my hands for each of these, basically these players, even though I'm playing both of them. And so we're going to draw 6 cards for each. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So I've got an event, stand and fight. I've got the Lorian Guide, ally, Northern Tracker, Gandalf, always great to have him, a light in the dark, and strength of will. So that's my hand for my lore spirit deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My leadership and tactics deck. So here we get the horseback archer, the guard of the citadel, the Gondorian spearman, the snowborn scout, veteran axe hand, and Faramir. Okay, so good hands for both of these. I'm just going to set them down like this, so hopefully you can see them in the video maybe a little bit better. And now I've got to decide what to do. So let's start our turn. So at the beginning of our turn, we're going to gather resources. So each of the heroes gathers a resource, and now I can play some actions. So this deck, I'm going to look. I have really no allies I can play, and the only action I can play is a light in the dark, which is not really useful at this point. Yeah, I've got nothing useful here. So then we are going to look at the this deck. So I've got 2 leadership and only 1 lore. So I could summon the Gondorian Spearman or the Veteran Axe Hand. And what we do need is we do need some allies to kind of act as a little bit of a shield for us. So this Veteran Axe Hand is looking pretty good. So I'm going to take Legolas and Gimli's resources, and I am adding this ally to our party. Now remember, we can only play 1 ally per turn. So we've done that, and now we get to commit to a quest. Okay, so I have committed 2 heroes, so one with 4 and one with 1 questing. And in our staging area we have 2, 4, 6. So we've got 5 versus 6 right now. We would be going up 1 threat if I left it at that. So what I'm also going to do is, since I have committed my actions, Aragorn on the second player is also going to commit to the quest, and then he's going to spend his resource and use his ability, which says in response he may, after he commits, spend 1 resource from his resource pool to ready him. So that's what I did. So we've got his 2 as well. So now we're at 7. Here's the bad thing. We are drawing 2 cards because there's 2 players from the encounter deck. And the likelihood of our threat going past 7, since we're already at 6, is pretty high. So what I am going to do is I have the ability with Eowyn to discard a card and gain 1 questing, and each player can do this once a turn. And I'm going to go ahead and do this, and I'm going to discard this Strength of Will from player 1, and player 2. And player 2 unfortunately has a bunch of good cards, but the likelihood of me getting to play Faramir here in the near future is pretty low. So I'm going to discard Faramir as well. So now we've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're at a much better way at the moment. So now, so the first encounter card is the Necromancer's Reach. So it's a treachery, which means it deals 1 damage to each exhausted player. Well, so 1 damage is going to go to Eowyn and 1 to Dunhir. And since Aragorn is not exhausted, he does not take 1, even though he is, yeah, it says exhausted, right? Yep. Even though he's committed to the quest. Now we're going to draw our second one, and we get Undulant Spawn. Oh, this is a terrible enemy. 9 health, 2 shields. This is awful. Each character currently committed to a quest gets -1 questing until the end of the phase. Okay, that's not good. So it goes to the staging area. So now we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And here we've got 4, 5, 6. -1 is 5. 1 -1 is 0. 2 -1 is 1. So 6. So since I was unsuccessful, I'm going to have to raise both threat counters by 3. So this will go to 31. And this goes up to 36. This is a very bad start, guys. I can't promise that I'll be successful at this. So you might have to be happy with a losing game, but still a game playthrough nonetheless. Okay, so now we're going to have the travel phase, and what we're going to do is we're going to travel to the Enchanted Stream, and it brings its objective with it. And unfortunately, while we're here, we cannot draw cards, that's okay, because we need to get some of the threat out of our staging area. Now we're going to check to see if we have any encounters, and we do. So we start with the first player. Yeah. And this Cavern Guardian only has a threat level of 8. So it is going to come to the first player since I have 31, and that is more than that. But that's it. Fortunately, the spawn does not come to me. Next, we look at player number 2, and we have to check again, and the spawn has a 32, and this player has a 36. So the spider comes out of the staging area to attack the second player. And now we have our combat phase. And this is not good, because I have a enemy attacking player 1 and I've got nobody to block. My guys are both exhausted going on the quest. And so we're going to have to figure out what to do here. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use a light in the dark and pay 2 spirit to choose an enemy, engage with a player, and return that enemy to the staging area. So the spawn is going back to the staging area. So then we only have to deal with the Cavern Guardian. Now since I don't have anybody to block, I don't want that damage just to go through. So Aragorn is a sentinel, which means he can block another player for another player. So he is going to exhaust to block for me, and so this character is going to attack, and we have to draw a shadow card for it, and let's see what it is. Okay. It is just a location. There's no shadow effect. That's good for us. So Aragorn blocks, his 2 shield absorbs this 2 damage, and no damage is done to Aragorn. Now it's our turn to attack back, and I don't have anybody to attack, but Legolas also has the ranged ability, which means he can attack for my party. And he's going to do that. He is going to exhaust, and he is going to attack the Cavern Guardian, and Legolas does 3 damage. And he has 1 shield, so 3 minus 1 is 2. He only has 2 life, so he is defeated. He goes there. So now this shadow key is left, and I can claim it at any point, but I don't want to yet. I'm going to leave it there because it has some negative effects that we can get into later. But Legolas also has another ability, which says after he participates in an attack that destroys an enemy, place 2 progress tokens on the current quest. Quest, not location, is the key phrase there, or key word. So I'm going to place these 2 tokens on the quest. And with that, I need to... the combat phase is over. So I am going to refresh. Okay. I'm going to draw back up my hand. 5, 6 cents. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I almost did that by accident. I cannot draw because remember, I traveled to the stream and its ability is while it's active, we cannot draw cards. So we're not drawing any cards, but I do move the the first player token over to the next player, and we have to increase our threat level by 1 for each of us. Okay. And that is turn 1. So now I'm going to move my marble to represent turn 2, and we're going to put the resources back on our heroes. More resources to spend. And now I've got to figure out what card I want to play. I'm still out of luck on my Spirit Lore deck because I don't have enough resources to really play any of those. However, I do have enough resources here to summon either... Oh no, I'm sorry, I only have enough. I can either summon the Snowborn Scout or the Gondorian Spearman. And I'm going to go with the Spearman. And I'm just going to put him over here. And I'm going to pay 2 resources there. Because I know we're going to have to deal with the spider this turn. So now we only have 5 committed here. So once again, I'm going to commit Dune here. Eowyn. Aragorn. Tempted to commit more, but I'm certain that we're going to need them to battle the spawn. And so we've now traveled to our questing area, and I don't think I have the resources to discard more cards at this point. So we're just gonna have to see what we get. So the first card we get is a location. It's fine, but it adds 2 to the staging area. And then our next card is another location. And this one's not a good one, the Tower Gate. So when we travel there, we're going to have to... Oh, yeah, that's not good. Alright, so let's count up what we've got. We've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've got 4, 5, 6, 7. Dadgummit. Just off to a terrible start, which means I'm going to have to increase my threat for both players by 2. And I was hoping that I would finish that quest, but that's not the case. So now we see if we have... oh, no, I forgot. I meant to pay 1 and ready him again. So now we've got the encounter phase, and the only one left up here is the spawn, and it is going to come down. Since he's first player, it's going to come and attack him. If we had been first player on the Spirit Air or the Spirit Lore side, then he would have also attacked us. Whoever had been first player there would have been in trouble. And so we've got the first player, and so the spawn has come down, and that's it. There's nobody left here that is going to engage us. So we're going to have to figure out what to do. We know the spawn is attacking, and so what we're going to do is we're going to let the Gondorian Spearman take the brunt of the damage, and he's going to block. And fortunately, when he does deal 1 damage to the attacking enemy. So we're going to do that. We're going to deal the damage to the spawn, and it attacks, and basically this guy has no chance because he only has 1 shield and 1 health, and the spider does 5 damage, so it takes him out. So now we've got our response on the attack, and we really want to kill off the spider this turn if possible, and I think that we can. So we are going to attack. Oh, I forgot to draw the shadow card. This could change everything because we don't know what extra ability that Spider got. And it does have a shadow ability. So the attacking enemy gets +1 attack. Okay. That's not bad because he killed off our guy anyway, and I am glad to get rid of the work. So here to kill off our guy. So now we're going to attack, and I am committing everyone to this attack. So now we add up their attack values. So 3, 3, 6, 2, 8, 2, 10. Okay. So we're doing 10 damage. And it has 2 shields, 2 armor. So 10 minus 2 is 8. And it has 9 health. So that Gondorian Spearman doing that 1 damage really allowed us to take him out, because otherwise we would have just dealt, we just dealt 8 damage to it, but it would have lived, but now it dies and it goes away. So that was alright. The only problem is we're still not going to be able to draw cards this turn, and we've got 6 for our questing level that we have to beat, not to mention the 2 cards that are coming. So we're not looking too hot at the moment. So we're going to go ahead and go through the refresh stage. Refresh everyone. We're going to up our threat by 1. And this is bad for our second player here. We already made it up to 40. We can't draw cards, so we're going to move the token back over here. And now let's move on to turn 3. Everybody gains a resource. Okay. So now we do have 4 spirit resources, and we've got a couple of allies that we could play there. We could either play the Lorien Guide or the Northern Tracker. And what we're going to do, and they're both good, but we're actually going to use the Northern Tracker here. Because of his ability, after he commits, place 1 progress token on each location in the staging area. We have 3 locations, 1, 2, 3, in the staging area right now, and this ability is going to be very useful. So we're going to pay this 4 and add this ally to our ranks. Now that means that we cannot play an ally here, and all we have in our hand is allies. So there's nothing else that this player can do. So we're going to commit to questing again. Commit Aragorn, and again pay 1 to ready him. And you know, I'm really tempted to commit someone else. But the problem is that if we get 2 enemies on our encounter draw, they're coming. Because we've got 35 threat and 40 threat. We did not keep our threat low, which was part of the plan of having my spirit deck. So, let's just leave it now. For now, we've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You know what? I am going to go ahead and I'm going to discard my Lorien Guide here, which is probably a huge mistake, and discard my Snowborn Scout to give us 2 more. So now we're sitting at 10, and we only need 6 until we draw the 2 cards. Now, I'm going to go ahead, since he's committed, going to put 1 there, and look at that. The Tower Gate only required 1 progress token. I didn't even think about that. So it is already completed. So now we've only got 4 here before we draw, and we've got 10 committed. So let's see what we get. Oh, a king spider. See, I told you there were enemy coming. So he adds 2. Goes up here. And what's our second? Oh, and when revealed, each player must choose and exhaust one character he controls. Oh. Okay, one character he controls. I'm going to exhaust this ally, since it is a character and it didn't say hero. So next, oh, some more orcs. And when revealed, I must choose one character committed to a quest. The first player must, which is my spirit lore guy, and deal 2 damage to that character. Man, my guys are taking a lot of damage. Alright, I'm going to deal it to Dune here. No, I'm not. I'm going to deal it to my northern tracker, because we don't want our heroes to die. And having him just 1 away from death is not a good idea, because there are treachery cards out there that can deal 1 damage to each hero committed, and if we run into that, then our hero would die and we wouldn't get any more resources. It'd be a bad idea. So even though I don't want to lose that ally, it's smarter to put the damage there. Okay, so remember, we've got 10. Now this is 2, 4, 6, 8. So we got 2 left over, so that means we're not increasing this time, and this location only requires 2. So we solve this quest, we fully explore it, and it goes into the discard pile. Now we can also pick up the Nemo Torch if we want to, which we don't right now. But that's good, that's great news, because now we are going to be able to draw cards at the end of the turn. Alright, so now we've got to decide who is going to encounter us. As the first player, I'm going to just kind of put these here. And I'm going to put them up here so that we know I can reach them. I know I can claim these objectives now. They're going to be in the staging area, but there's nothing there. Alright, so as the first player, I got to see who approaches, and look at this. They both come after me since I have 35 threat. This is not a good position to be in. Not a good position at all. Okay. So now it's going to be the attack phase. And so I've got 2 enemies coming through. 1 that does 3 damage, 1 that does 2 damage. I've got no blockers now. We do have Aragorn, who has Sentinel, so he is going to help out, of course. And he is going to block the King Soldier, or the King Spider. I'm sorry. And nobody's going to block the orcs. So let's hope they don't get a great shadow card, because one of my heroes is going to die. So it goes to the one with the highest first threat, and then the next one with the next highest threat. So let's see what happens to Aragorn. And it is a shadow card, and it says choose and discard 1 attachment from the defending character, which he doesn't have any. So that's good. So that goes into the trash. And he is going to deal 3 damage, so Aragorn blocks 2 with his armor and takes 1 overflow, so he takes a wound. Now let's see what the Dol Guldur orcs do. Oh, it's a treachery, but thankfully it has no shadow ability. I'm sorry about the zoom here, guys, or about the focus. So we're okay there, but it does deal 2 damage, and when it goes undefended, you have to put all of that damage on 1 hero. You can't go to an ally, it has to go to a hero. So unfortunately, it's going to go to Dune here at this point. So he is 1 away from death, not where we would like, to be at. So now we're going to attack back. I've got nobody to attack with, but Legolas, fortunately, is ranged. Now, he cannot take out the spider, because he only does 3 attack, and the spider has a shield and 3 health. But this guy has no armor and only 3 health, so he is going to attack the orcs, and that is enough to destroy them. And since he participated and destroys an enemy, we get to place 2 progress tokens on our current quest. So it only has 9, and we've already got 4 on there, so that's good. And now it's the end of our turn, so we're going to reset everybody, refresh them. Finally, we get to draw cards. I've got 2, so that's 3, 4, 5, 6. Moving this token over, and then we've got 2 here. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so you guys can see which cards I drew. We got the Forest Snare, another Northern Tracker, Protector of Lorien, which is nice, and then reduce one player's threat by 6, which is important. And then for our our tactics and leadership deck, we got a Feint, Gandalf, and 2 Citadel plates, and a Horseback Archer. Hey, he would be very useful. Okay. Alright, this episode has run kind of long. So this is Crazybear. Thanks for watching. Tune back in next time for continuation of Lord of the Rings Living Card Game. Bye.